All right. It's a beautiful day. Every day. As most people on the planet know, there are many wars going on. Yeah. Been a war going on in Yemen now for 8 years. There's been war in Ukraine for 8 years. And of course, that war has spread. And not without endorsement from the Russian Orthodox Church, saying nothing and showing support. And of course, the head of the Orthodox Ukrainian Church throwing full support behind the war effort. Yeah. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. In the first century, during the time of the Roman Empire, first century Christians, they were famous and well known for their neutrality. They would not participate in war, in Rome's wars, or anyone else's wars for that matter. And why so? Well, because they were they were Christians, that's why. Yeah, so a Christian would be someone who is neutral to the conflicts of this world. And why so? Why would a Christian be neutral to the conflicts of this world? Well, if we look closely, we can easily determine that their leader taught them that they were citizens of a government, not of this world. Let's think about that one for a minute here. Citizens of a government, not of this world. Now, if you're the citizen of a government, then you would be loyal to that government, and that would mean that you would restrict your loyalty to that government. A true patriot of a government is one who is loyal, who refuses to support the agenda of some other government. And that profound teaching that they received from their leader allowed those first century Christians to understand the real issue. And the real issue being that loyalty to that kingdom, that government that their leader spoke about was paramount. Everything hinged on them being loyal to that government. And because they were hated. They were hated by Rome, and they were hated by everybody else. Because they were loyal and refused to support all of the nonsense. Interestingly enough, their leader, who indeed was the greatest prophet ever to set foot on the earth, foretold that first century Christian organization that was so famous for its loyalty and for spreading its incredible message, that organization would become, in time, overtaken by greedy, self-interested fools who would teach something different. They would teach the ideas of men, the philosophies of men, and don't discount the influence of women. What we're talking about is that first century organization would lose the grip that it had on the original concept that was taught by their leader, and in time would teach and promote all kinds of lies and would do all kinds of corrupt things for power and money. And over the centuries, that indeed is what happened. that prophecy came true. So here we are, 2022. And in the last century, the nations of Christendom primarily engaged in brutal wars, World War I, World War II, taking sides, Catholic, butchering Catholic, Protestant, butchering Protestant. Not to mention that the leaders of Christendom took sides. The Pope made a concordat with Adolf Hitler. And so it goes. The history of war. And sadly, the outcome has been a legacy of sorrow and pain. For millions. And why? What is to be gained? What is to be gained? Well, for sure. The interests of those who make weapons are taken care of, and the interests of those who sell those weapons are taken care of. And of course, the stockholders who own little bits and pieces of those weapons manufacturing corporations, oh, they do quite well. Going back to those first century Christians, you know, they took that firm stand because they knew something. They knew that their leader was going to set up a government in heaven. Actually, he would be appointed by the Creator to set up a government. This government would not be established on the earth. It would rule over the earth from a spiritual dimension. Another dimension. And it would have representatives here on the earth who would gladly make known to any who would listen that this government was going to crush and put an end to all of these governments that men had set up. And that government would never end. It would never be passed on to any other people. It would never be overthrown. It would never be dissolved. And it would be a government that was beyond corruption. Let's think about that. Beyond corruption. Beyond corruption. Another interesting, and I highly recommend that you spend time learning about another Hebrew prophet by the name of Daniel. That's right. Same Daniel as the Daniel from the lion's den. That same Daniel is the one that foretold that government from another dimension, from the spirit realm, would indeed take control of the earth. By crushing, permanently eliminating completely every vestige of every human government. And then it would proceed to undo all of the incredible damage that has been done. Damage that has been done since Cain smashed Abel's head with a stone. All the damage that has been done the pain, the sorrow that has become such a legacy of human government, humans denying other humans any sense of peace or prosperity or hope. All of that damage will be undone. How so? Well, toward the end, that same Daniel was told that he would rest for a time, like we all do. He would go back to the dirt, back to the dust. He would rest there, sleeping. But then he would stand up once again. But this time, it would be different. He would stand up in a new world. Stand up, how so? Well, just as the first man, Adam, was formed from the dirt, from the clay, so too Daniel would be brought back from the dirt, from the clay. He would be brought back with all of his memories, all of his history, and he would stand up for his people. And like Daniel, misery and sorrow and horrible things that have happened over the millennia will be undone when all those who are in the grave or in the dirt, who are sleeping in death, they will all, good and bad, be brought back, formed again out of dirt with all their memories, their hopes, their dreams. And they will have their first real chance at not just living on the earth, but living in a changed earth. An earth free of war, free of disease, free of oppression. A warless world where there's plenty of food, no hunger, no money for that matter. Who would need money in such a new world? And they would have before them the opportunity to stay alive in young, healthy bodies, to have before them the prospect of eternity, life as it was meant to be, in a clean, beautiful world. With their loved ones, reunited, such a world is what the leader of the Christians taught his disciples to be loyal to a government that would bring about such a world. That is true Christianity. And that which passes for Christianity now will be gone. Because it is part of the problem that we all face right now. Indeed, that which passes for Christianity now, those who take sides and promote the wars, they will they will gladly come to know and sadly refuse to change. Claiming that they are doing great things when they are not. Well, this is just the first little bit of scribble and talk story for today. It's a great subject. I love this subject. So until we get into part 2 of this particular scribble and talk story, I'll say aloha.